Basically means that men are approximately 624% more likely to separate from a woman if the woman gets sick.
Yeah. And I hear what you're saying, but I feel like it's deeper than just the inconvenience of not meeting a need, and more because in the African American and Caribbean context, our identities are so closely linked to our sexual prowess. So it's like, if you're not doing that, or you're not providing, or you're not performing in this way, then it's like you need to remind yourself that you're still, man is still at this and that. So within the context of pregnancy, or within the context of the woman being terminally ill, it's more of, all right, if I can't perform in this way, then who am I then? Who, like who may be? So it's like, you have to, like, you need the reminder to prove them something, so.
Who are we proving this to, and why is it important for us to?
With self. If your whole identity is wrapped up in your sexual prowess, is so. I mean, at that point, the woman is an echo chamber still. The woman confirms what you believe, or she can make or break. No pun intended, right? If she tell us, say, you're a performer, then that validates you. I mean, you can't get a validation if you back your fist, to be honest, quite frankly.
It seems to me, though, that this is more a pursuit than necessarily seeking the validation of that person, because just for argument's sake, you go out the road and you hook up with another woman, and she says, yo, you were trash, bro. Like, if she said you were trash, do you stop and go back home and say, well, I tried, I always, no, these men, they decide, all right, I need to go until I find somebody. So for me, it's rooted in a sort that you are pursuing this confirmation by, you see me?
Why you want ribs the opposite?
Yeah. but it happens. It happens. In that situation where I'm certain that man won't sit and say, well, this I stand, I'm gonna go back home to my wife now, because I clearly still not have it. No, you say, yo, I find somebody who tells me the thing I want to hear. And if that is the case, it doesn't seem to me that this is about identity, but there is a great deal of ego at play.
Agreed. I mean, identity and ego. Rimsey.
Natu said a lot of stuff there. I'm still processing it, because Natu went down a different road. So again, I'm still processing everything, but there's a lot of ego involved in it, and I mean, let's face it, we're men. We can't. Ego and the amount of testosterone we have and all of that is what forces us to function how we function. Yes, along with other things, but I'm just looking at a scenario that Natu is talking about, and I'm thinking, that man who probably that woman talked to, would he go back home to his wife? Probably no. He would try and prove to that woman again that, listen, you knocked me down one time, but me come back and show you, so go. And I feel like
redeem myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna redeem myself, even though I still have a woman at home that is pregnant. And the difference is, I feel like he can completely separate the two. He can act in a sense where,
compartmentalize.
Okay, yeah, me can compartmentalize that. Me can go out there and show down that woman and make sure know say, all right, me pay my dues. I'm redeem myself and I can still go back home and be the lover and the nurturer to my pregnant wife who can assist in that part. Because you also have to take into consideration, you also have to accept that this is what used to happen before. If that's why I said you went down a path that is kind of different. Back in the days, this is what we're talking about is a norm. Yeah, your woman would at home with pregnant with a kid, but you'd still have 3, 4, 5 other women on the road that you'd probably releasing on, right?
And that's why the
it
man back in the
happened.
day have about 3, 4 family that you know hear about
Exactly,
until
it happened,
them funeral,
and
separate family.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it is not that they weren't emotionally connected to the woman; they were just releasing the physical. They were just releasing the physical, because I can tell you, back in the day, back in the day, when I had a girlfriend that I was emotionally connected to and I was in my prime, yeah, I would go to the road and do my deed, but I would come back home and my heart was with that person. You understand? And me go what I choose. Me go a road and me perform because what? But again, that was at a stage in my life where I feeling like I needed to build that ego and I needed to build that part of me. I needed that validation at that age, right? However, that woman that I shared that emotional side of me, because not all men walk around with their heart on their sleeve and give it to every girl.
Right.
Yeah, there's going to be a 1 or 2 girl or a 1 girl that is she that, right? So emotionally she's mine and I can go home and give her. But yo, I go a road and I have a duty to fulfill. Me I go, yeah, me can't make you say me not me feel. So that's why I said I feel like you went down a different path there. So I was just there try putting myself. I like to put myself in all of these scenarios. But if I'm coming back again to what we were talking about, the topic at hand, I would have to see the demographic, I'd have to see the culture of these men, because even me who I recently been to the Middle East and I've seen that culture, and I can't speak too deeply on it, but what I've seen just from being there, yes, there are men there with multiple wives and whatever, but I can still see the care. And I'm trying to picture one of their wives are terminally ill and they're dying. How these men treat their wives very well, to be honest with you, based on what I've seen. Now again, I can't speak too deeply of it because I don't know everything, but based off what I've seen, I would think that even men with multiple women, even in the African culture, these men love their women. I can't see where they would just leave them because, oh, you're sick and we can't bother care for you or whatever. We've seen where men will literally go broke to make sure so they get the best health care, all of these things, the best nurse. Look at, all right, let's even take even into our own Jamaica. Adam Stewart, rest in peace to his wife, who Jill. We saw publicly how he was there until the end. So again, that's why I said I kind of have to see, like, I would have to see where them get the sample size from and which men they're talking about, because as much as them give Jamaican man bad name, I really doubt majority of Jamaican men would leave them terminally ill women because them can't get sexually satisfied. Yes, there probably is a percentage out there because that is always there, but I can't say that I believe that majority would do that.
I think we may be operating from a position of bias because it's such an alien thing for us to even consider that if found in that situation that we would do the same thing, or that people we know would do the same thing, or that men we know would just up and leave their partners. So I feel like because it's such an alien thing to us, there is perhaps some difficulty in grasping that very obvious reality.
Yeah,
And
it's
if
how we
we
grew up
are
too.
looking, if we are looking at, if the study, for instance, focuses on like the North American demographic, which is possibly likely because a lot of studies that they conduct typically involve North America, Europe, and those
Yeah.
places.
hmm
So
The,
it wouldn't be
the
far fetched to
West,
say.
really. Uh-huh.
So it's very West centric, very West focused because perhaps even as Rimdi pointed out just now in the Middle East, that may not necessarily be the dynamic in some places, but for the places where that happens to be the case, what do you imagine, if you can?
All right. So I don't know if this is part 3 of.
What do you imagine to be the thought process of those kinds of men who would say, "Oh, you are at a very low point now, terminally ill, and I don't need to stick around for it." Like, if you could just stretch your mind to think about that, what do you think they could be thinking?
I mean,
I mean, honestly, I I see the man or the men who do that as weak men, or it's and that is, take that however you want to take it, but I mean, I feel like it is a weak man whose identity is wrapped up in something, and now this tectonic shift makes him feel less than or ill-equipped to be there for this woman. So the easiest thing to do is leave, because, and going back to the last conversation that we had, I do feel like as men, I'm not talking for us now, I'm talking the collective men, when we are faced with what we consider to be an insurmountable challenge, I'm not talking physical now, I'm talking that, what they call it, psychic, or that emotional burden, the thing that thing that we don't, like, we can't practically solve, we look for an escape route. We look for an escape route. And again, I'm not talking us here in this room, but I do feel like collectively there are men who, the moment something is too emotionally challenging or too psychologically challenging, the 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 only option, because it's not a solution, the only option is to leave. Is to leave the situation. Is to self-sabotage, as to whatever the case. So that's what, if I had to, yes, that's what I feel. It's a weak man who doesn't know what to do now. Plus, he doesn't know where to go to get that kind of help to say, all right, this is what you should do, right? Uh, and I do feel like it's that's why, again, that's why it's important to have strong friend groups and strong circles, because if a brethren fall to me and say, too much dog, it this, you could actually have a conversation, right? Um, but I still don't feel like, I don't know, it's that one literally does not compute to me. It literally does
What,
not compute to me.
what do you
yeah.
think, Grimdy?
Eh, Honestly, brother, like I can't get the thought process behind it. It's baffling to me. Um, and again, you said something that's true, and my, how we behave most of the time is what we're used to, what we grew up seeing, how we were culturized, and I guess that's why the bias exists, because Steph gave you the example of his if I put that same I mean I've seen my mother sick already, just a simple sickness, not even terminally ill, just a simple sickness, you know. I'm sure even with you, if your partner feel ill, you already probably jump a try make sure so she get little tea or whatever. It's like a part of your brain just a part of
Yeah,
you can't
yeah,
function too, right? Because
yeah.
that side isn't there. So I personally cannot even think about it. But you are right. And maybe that's why I said again, I would love to see where that study is coming from and what kind of men, the sample that they use, because I'm pretty sure probably they are out there, but I don't know them, and I really don't want to know. I really don't want to know any man like that, to be honest, because it speaks
Really,
volumes. It shows me that if you
reality.
can, it if I needed you as a brother too, you wouldn't be there for me.
If you get me, I say, yeah,
So
if you could do that to your
I
own
can't
woman,
trust I
I
can't
can't
trust you
trust
at
you.
that point,
I can't
because
trust you. Yeah,
not only would you do that to your own woman, but you do that to your child as well.
yeah, you want, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. Real
So
So
talk.
I have a follow up, because obviously it's good, and it's one thing to not be able to relate to this kind of dynamic or to these kinds of men. But Steph, if we are to take this as, just to piggyback off of what you said, if we are to take this as an expression, like a collective expression of that desire to seek an escape in moments of discomfort, for men who may not necessarily be engaging in the necessary introspection to see that this is a problem, how do we steer them in the direction of figuring out, if your impulse is to escape, whether it's a mild cold that your woman has or she's terminally ill, if your impulse is to escape, if this is how we have been socialized, what do we tell these men who are just operating automatically? How do we help them to sort of shift away from that kind of mindset in moments like those, in situations like those?
Boy, I mean, barring like therapy and counseling, the only thing I can say, like, it's, I mean, this, I like, don't think like a man, I think like a human. Like, just on a human to human
on
level,
a
bro.
human level, yeah,
Yeah.
Not
yeah,
at that point,
yeah.
it's not
Not
even
even like
spouse.
it's
It's
not
not
even
even,
spouse.
yeah, it's not even man and woman issues. As a human, bro. You understand what I'm saying? You get me?
Because let's face it, if I hear say one of you sick, I have cancer or a terminal illness, there's no attraction between me. But just because you're my brother and the care is there, whatever I can do, even
Bro,
from that
yeah,
standpoint.
you understand what I'm saying?
So
Like,
that
you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, it's very
It's
mind-boggling.
yeah, this one stumped me. I've seen a lot of things online, but I think this one shocked me the most. And I do feel like we need to find like because I mean, we're reacting to this video, right? I do feel like we need to find the actual data and have another conversation about it, like dissect that, because boy, yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think I'd like to sort of wrap this in this way, as a sort of a cautionary tale to, how they say when you are choosing a partner, it helps if you have been in difficult situations with them.
hmm
There's this like
Yeah.
common going around, like, have before you commit to a long-term relationship with somebody, see how they operate with you when you are dealing with the loss of a loved one.
Yeah. Yeah.
See how
Yeah.
they handle you when you are sick.
Yeah.
See how they react when you are dependent upon them for something. Because these situations can be extremely telling.
But you know, I mean, we're wrapping up now, but like they said, the single best thing you can teach children, because it starts as a child, right? It starts from how someone is raised. The single greatest lesson you can teach a child is resilience. And that is what it is. Like finding a partner who is resilient, who knows how to bounce back from things and challenges, and their whole life don't crash and burn, right? Is something as simple as, you know, when a little child fall down, don't pick them up every single time because they need to learn how to get up. Or them must struggle to put a puzzle together and them crash out. Don't solve the puzzle for them because they need to learn how to solve their own problems. Like that's one of the single most important things you can teach a child, right? And I do feel like it's important for us to encourage emotional and psychological resilience. I don't know I don't know how much it can improve in people our age and older. So it has to start from young, like parents teaching their children certain things, because Rimsey said in the last
That's from the
episode, I
us.
do feel like mana get a little bit too soft. I feel like there is something going on where, and they're soft in every sense of the word, like not being able to handle uncomfortable situations, or not being able to have uncomfortable conversations or anything like that. And I do feel
Being
like,
able to handle your own emotions as well.
right, yeah, exactly, right, exactly. So I do feel like there's a lot more work to do in that area when it comes to men. But bro, I don't know, goes without saying, if you're a man and God forbid you have a partner, you have a spouse who is ill, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, but on a human to human level, the last thing you should do is leave that person in the greatest time of need. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, wedding vows say, you know, richer power, sickness, and health till death do us part, right? Even if you don't believe in that, I'm saying, like, on a human to human level, bro, that is
It's
not,
human to human.
that is, yeah, trust me. So yeah, I think we need to pick it up with a new. I think we need to pick up the next one with that data, and make we interrogate this a little bit more. Trust me.
Yeah.
What's that?
See?
What's that?
Alright, bro.
Yeah.
Check you on the next one. Remedy.
Legendary.
Alright, see you there.
Blessings, bro.
Yeah.
Not too.
So, yeah. Oh God.
No, you've been hurt. Someone tell by the way. If you let me Go and take care, man. Go and take care, man. Know yourself, man.
What me have to do?